So the HSE Performance Monitoring Tool, both the manager and observation, have been a game changer since their inception in 2018. So these two templates are actually 8 years old, and they've stood out as one of the best templates that we've developed and are widely used by a lot of safety professionals. Now, a lot of good thing about this template was the fact that you build your data set within the actual and then the target source data. This is the target source data, this is the actual source data, and it covered a lot of KPIs. We literally gave insights on the key metrics that you needed to track as a safety professional. So we did all of that, and you only focus on the actual data source and then the target data source, and all these reports within the workbook will update automatically upon just a click of a button. So we had the HS performance dashboard, the target dashboard, the incident dashboard, the incident rate dashboard, control of work dashboard, all these dashboards, including a monthly HS report template that's pre-built, and then HSE statistics that's already pre-built. And then we also had a lot of KPI reports, and these KPI reports have their actual being compared against the target. It was quite a lot of them, and so it gave opportunity for people to use some of the visuals for their annual HS performance report. We didn't also stop there. Based on the same Excel template, we built the Power BI version of it. That's where we always try to improve our template with some new visualizations, which were all connected to the same Excel structure. So this is how far we have gone with the HS Performance Monitoring Tool, but the underlying challenge still remains. What's the underlying challenge about? It was about the fact that in as much as we've been very exhaustive with the KPIs, there were instances where they would not apply to a company. And so if the company doesn't carry out, doesn't do permit to work, why should they have permit systems or permit to work as one of the KPIs? So it just assumed that all the KPIs should apply to companies. But the reality was that not every company needs those KPIs at that particular point in time. And again, some of the terminologies were a bit different. Some would call it HSE observation, some would call it action card, some would call it safety observation visit. And so these terminologies meant that we needed to create room for them to be able to change the KPIs themselves. But the challenge was that in Excel, you cannot, just because the KPIs are fixed to the column headers, and for that reason, they're connected to pivot tables, which means that once you change the KPIs, you're going to get a #ref error, and the dashboard is going to show a #ref error as well, and it's not going to function as intended, and so you have to come for customization. Now, all these lessons that we've learned, we've been able to integrate it into our new solution. So as far as this template is concerned, you don't have to struggle to create KPIs. So basically, in this video, I'm going to be creating these KPIs with you. Then I'm going to show you something very, very important. But before that, let's understand the KPI configuration. The KPI configuration is for us to plan all the KPIs that is important within our industry. It doesn't mean that we are coming to track them. It doesn't mean that we're going to use all of them. You can just plan everything over here. You have the permit to work compliance rate, you have the permit to work audit, you have all these things here under various categories. You just plan everything. But the key thing you want to pay attention to is the enable field. Now, this field you see here, you will have to toggle it on as yes, literally, so that it will then imply that you're going to use it in the software. If no, you indicate as no, it's not going to initialize. Okay, so without wasting time, let's quickly create a KPI. Now, let's understand a few things. All of them are yes, and we're going to focus on just one category, which is control of work. So control of work has these KPIs: permit to work, there's the toolbox stock conducted, permit to work compliance rate, there's permit to work audit. All these are just about how many? About 5 of them, 5 control of work KPIs, and they're all showing as yes. Okay, so let's quickly create a submission. When we come over here and we click on create submission, what it means is you are coming to sort of register the fact that we are submitting a report for a particular period, maybe today, right? So we just choose today. We are submitting a report. We are reporting it in this year, which is reporting year 2026. We are choosing for a site. Literally, we are working at a particular site, and that's it. So we quickly save it as draft for the first time just to capture it in there. So once we have the KPI already here, we just click on select category, and we are focusing on control of work. All right. Now, at this point, we have 9 categories that we could be populating data for. Take note that the 9 categories are all coming from here. Categories, there are a total of 9. Okay, so it's going to take some time to load. I don't know why, probably my internet or something, but let's assume it's going to load. But we have a total of 9 categories. Now, 9 categories, we want to focus on control of work. So all I need to do is just click on this, and I'll just add a category. Okay, so I'm just going to click add category, and this is going to add the categories of KPIs. Okay, all the KPIs within the control of work category to populate over here. So there we have it right now. We've populated a total of 5 KPIs. These are the KPIs under control of work: permit to work issued, risk assessment completed, permit to work audits, coming to work compliance rate, and all of this. So what do? I take my time to complete it. So I'm going to enter. Let's assume that there's an end of month report. So I'm going to be entering some values. So as I'm entering the value, you can see that it's counting over there. Let's put random values there, right? 20, another 20. I'm going to put another 20 here. Okay, so as I do that, I'll show you something, what is happening right now. And I'll put another one, compliance rate. So there's a percentage. I'll put 0.9 over here because this is supposed to be in percentage. And then the last one is, let's say, say 50. Okay, now let's go to the back end and understand what just happened. Now when we go to the back end, when you come to KPI submission, you notice that we have one submission over here. It is in draft. We are not done. We have initialized one particular category, which is this one. And again, the KPI actual has already populated. I probably didn't show you when it was just blank. Now usually all of this will populate and it is left with just the actual that we needed to input, but the input that we just did has already populated over here. So at this point we are done with the category that we selected. And so when you go back here, you notice that 5/5. So you can choose to come and add on, right? So let's just add on another KPI. At this point I want to add on behavior-based safety. So let's just click on it, add the category, and let's wait for that to initialize. So the initialization, let's go back and look at it quickly. What's happening here? So let's click on this. You're going to notice they all initialize, right? So the new category that we just added, which is behavior-based safety, has already populated. If I refresh it, you're going to notice everything. So it's just left with the values I'm supposed to input. So just come over here and I'm going to input the value. So right, it changes to 5/10. So I'm just supposed to now add safety observation. I'm going to add, another category, and take note as I'm adding, you're going to notice that it's this updating, right? And this is for us to understand exactly what we are doing, that we are inputting data and we are literally almost done. So it shows a progress bar of how far we are going as long as this KPI is concerned. So now that we are done, let's assume that we don't want to add on additional categories. So we are done for this KPI. Let's come over here and let's refresh. You're going to notice that they have all updated. So this is the database we're building, and this is what we connect Power BI to. And so we're going to be building a long list of this type of data and work some amazing Power BI dashboard of this kind of solution. All right, so let us come back right now. At this point, I'm done. I'm not going to add on additional categories. What do I do? I'm going to, basically save as draft, and then I'm going to go to add category. Then when I click on any of them, for example, has literally been added. Okay, so if I click here, I just want to go to submit. I don't want to add a new category. So it takes me all the way back to the submission where we started off. Okay, and then what do? I simply click on this and I'll submit it. So this has officially been submitted, and then guess what? A lot of things are going to happen. So this is going to be submitted. Just wait for it to load. So it's officially submitted. The status changes are submitted, as you can see over here. If I click on view records, okay, you notice the records will equally update as submitted. All of them have updated. Okay, so this one not updated, but it's going to update. There we have it. Okay, so this one has been updated, but I could just go back, and then I'll just come back one more time, and you're gonna notice it has updated. There we have it. All of them have shown as submitted. So this is where an email notification will come in. A new KPI submission has been sent for review by somebody who has to approve it, right? Or to someone who has to approve it. And if I come to the notification also, you're gonna see that a new KPI submission for review have been sent, and I need to sort of click and approve. So let's assume that I have approval rights. Okay, so all I need to do is just come back to the submission over here, and I'm going to simply approve it. So that's it, guys. You see that we've been able to introduce a new KPI into our, basically our template or our software, and we can now come over here. We're going to notice that this is going to update as approved. There we have it. It has approved. So at this point, the submission that we did has been approved. So in due time, we're going to decide whether we are simply going to review it. So let's assume that we are escalating it to find it. We can actually escalate it if there's any issue. When we click on escalate, we need to provide a reason. But at this point, we don't want to escalate it. We want to just review it and say KPI has officially been reviewed. And there we have it. It's going to update accordingly as reviewed. And so this KPI has officially been reviewed. So it shows on all screens that KPI is reviewed. If I come over here, you see that KPI has been reviewed. KPI submission reviewed. If I come over here, there's an email notification that tells us that KPI submission has been approved. The first one was pending review. The second one has been reviewed. And that's how it is. So this is simply based on the fact that we want to track all these KPIs, right, under control of work. If I come to configuration and we look in the control of work, you're going to notice that the control of work KPIs are 5 in number, and we added behavior-based safety, right? And so that's exactly what we have here. And so we have the 5 control of work KPIs and we have the 5 behavior-based safety. This is simply based on the fact that on the configuration, we turn all of them to be on. Now, let's change something right here. We're going to delete the KPI, and now we're going to focus on just one. So the control of work, let's turn each of them, these ones, as off or no. We don't want to track it. We don't want to track this one. We don't want to also track control of work. We don't want to track another one. Let's assume permit work issued. We don't want to track that. So let's toggle it off as no. We are not interested in tracking those. Let's also go to another one. Okay, let's just work with 2. So we're gonna turn off 3 of them and we're gonna leave 2. Okay, but before I can delete, let's delete the old one. Let's look at something right here. So whenever we delete this page parent record. It's this parent record. Now, at this point, we cannot delete it because it has been approved. But if I come in here and I change it to draft, okay, and I save it, that means that all of them will change back to draft. You're going to notice that when I refresh, at this point, I need to refresh it because this record, you know, it's not going to take effect immediately. So I just want to make sure it is fast enough. So once this changes to draft, which you're going to notice right now, it is changed to draft. If I come over here, you're going to notice all of them are changed to draft. If I come over here, all of them have changed to draft as well. All of them changed to draft. So if I go all the way up, right, to the parent record, this is the parent record, and I delete it, this record is going to cascade down. This deletion that I do right now is simply going to cascade down. So at this point, the record is gone. If I come over here, the record is gone. The record is gone. The record is gone. As you can see, very, very exciting. Now, let's initialize another KPI. Let's create another KPI. This time around, based on the fact that we are only focusing on what we want to report on, not every KPI that is in our category. So we're just going to save as draft to register that this KPI is the one that we are working on. And I click over here and we focus on control of work. Let's click on it and see. Let's add category. You're going to notice that it's not going to be 5 KPIs. It's simply going to be 2. What it means is that we have chosen the KPIs that we want to track. And so we're going to click 20 for this, okay, and 20 for this one. Okay, 10. I'm gonna put 10 there. Oh, so it's still refreshing. We just have to wait for it to be done. Okay, so there's some refreshing going on there just because it's still initializing it. But I would have to check and ensure that there's no loop that is keeping it refreshing for a long time. So I have to, check something. This is probably one of those bugs that we need to fix right now. Apart from the fact that you could be viewing the records over here, you can actually view the records. I mean, you can actually update from here as well. So if I don't want to do that on the all records. I want to do that on the individual records. I could simply update it. So this is the actual I need to update. So I'm just going to put the value in here 20 and I could change it and I could just click on save and that's simply going to save it. Okay, so record has been saved successfully. So it's already there. If I come over here, you notice as it has updated. Okay, so what I see here is that there's this refresh loop that is going on, which I need to fix, and that's a bug. Okay, so at this point we have restricted the KPI to only what we want. So at this point I've already loaded it. Okay, so I'll just come back to the category and then I would go to the submission. Okay, so I'm still testing the workflow and I think that I probably have to make it easy to just click back to the submission. Okay, so right now we are going back to the submission. When you click back as many times, it takes you back to the submission, and at this point I can just submit it like we did it earlier. Okay, so it's going to show as submitted, and when I go and view the records, this one is going to update accordingly, and then if I approve it, right? So what it means is that you can restrict to your KPI to only the ones that are important, and that is it. So all of them are giving me the notification and I'm getting this one as well. So what it means is that submitting KPIs is now a breeze. You can choose to report on exactly what is important. You can build a long list of KPIs for your configuration just for purpose of deciding which one is important at any given year. So 2026, you can say that I want to track just 5 KPIs. 2027, I want to track 10. 2028, I want to track 20. It's all up to you guys. So this is what we're going to be doing for a long time as we collect data from January to December. I'm going to see you guys in another video. Bye for now. Cheers.